Guest 666 and Veronica gameplay is everywhere! Testers were given early access to showcase them in public servers, including Corso, whose showcase videos helped a lot to get all of this information in the video, and I know mostly everything about these characters' movesets now, but do be aware that this information is not only subject to change, but also not 100% accurate. So, let's get into these two new characters without more wasted time. Starting with Guest 666, he has 2.5k HP, which is absolutely insane, and a passive to build up a blood meter for his Blood Hunt ability from hit abilities and kills. He also can apply hemorrhage status effects with some of his abilities, which basically can decrease survivors' max HP in some sort of way for 30 minutes every time it is applied, aka infinitely. But other survivors can help you heal this hemorrhage in some way. The hemorrhage status effect itself isn't so clear yet, but Guest 666 sometimes also gets bonuses for hitting survivors with the hemorrhage effect, which we will get to later during his moveset explanation. Starting with the Carving Slash M1, it deals 20 damage and can go through multiple things like Slasher's M1, and it applies hemorrhage, which has a pretty big hitbox as well. It also runs off a weird charge system where if you just keep spamming it, it sometimes deals 10 damage with just a quick little chomp. Not sure how this mechanic exactly works, but that's some information. This move also gives 10 blood every time you hit it, and has a 2-second cooldown. His second move is Demonic Pursuit. It's that leap ability, which has a 1-second windup, and deals 25 damage in total while applying hemorrhage. You can also hold it for longer if you want to go farther. It gives 20 blood upon hit, and has a 30-second cooldown. It's somewhat similar to Cool Kid's ability where if guests block you, you'll just fly across the map as well. It doesn't stop you like Noli's Dash. His third move is Infernal Cry. It's a really big, almost instant roar projectile similar to Mass Infection size that deals no damage but applies blindness 2 to hit survivors for 4 seconds, and it makes them face you, the killer. It gives no blood upon hit either. However, if you hit a survivor who has hemorrhage, then it gives you 30 blood upon hit, with that being the only difference, and it has a 20-second cooldown. Now, for the final, most important move, Blood Hunt, there are two ways you can use this. Activating the mode with barely any blood in your meter just holds you in place for a bit and reveals all survivor locations. However, if you want to get the full effects of a rage mode with it, then fill up your blood bar. It takes 150 blood to max it out, but after every consecutive use, it takes another 50 blood. So the first time it would be 150 requirement, then 200, then 250, and so on, and I'm not sure if there's a cap, so that is unclear. The Rage mode turns the screen insanely dark and red, stalls the timer, Endless and Last Man Standing, and gives all sorts of buffs. Rage mode lasts 25 seconds, and during Rage mode, any stuns inflicted to you are instead just replaced with Slowness 2 for their normal duration. If you kill anybody during your Blood Hunt, you get another 20 seconds added to your timer, which doesn't extend past the 25-second limit. And killing consecutively then gives 15 seconds, then 10 seconds, then 8 seconds, and I'm not sure what it's like past that. So basically your first kill would give you another 20 seconds on the clock, then 15 on your second, then 10 on your third, 8 on your fourth. So you can kind of chain kills during your insane rage mode to keep it up even longer. It also buffs your Carving Slash and Infernal Cry, not your Demonic Pursuit though. Your Carving Slash no longer has that weird gimmick with like the 10 damage chomp occasionally, so you can just spam a standard 20 damage M1 now. And your Infernal Cry is really powerful now. Whenever you hit a survivor, instead of dealing no damage, it deals 10 damage, and you get a Speed 1 boost for 4 seconds, and a Strength 1 boost for 8 seconds. For reference, Strength 1 is about a 20% damage boost, and Speed 1 is about a 10% speed boost. Hitting hemorrhage survivors doesn't really matter now though, as your blood doesn't matter during a Blood Hunt Rage mode, and if you remember, before, you wouldn't get any blood for hitting it, but hitting hemorrhage survivors would give 30 blood. Once your blood hunt ends, your blood is reset back to 0, so you can't just build blood during your blood hunt and infinitely chain it like that. And as a final bonus, anytime you kill a survivor, you get an extra 20 blood for it. So as an example, hitting an M1 usually gives 10 blood, but if you kill the survivor with an M1, it now gives 30 blood. Guest 666 is basically a snowball killer. You build up your blood hunt, and then just try to rely on that for as long as you can because you are really powerful during it. So, that is everything known about Guest 666 so far. Let's now get into Veronica. Veronica has a standard 100 HP and a battery bar passive in the top right here, where you start the round with 70% battery. I'm not too sure how you really charge it up though, to be honest. It's something related to whenever you skate, but I'm not exactly sure how it's really charged. Your first move is Vandalize, aka the spray can. It has 3 charges with no cooldown. You can hold left click to spray on walls, and hold space to erase from walls. Beware that killers can hit these sprays to erase them, so you want to hide them pretty well. You can make areas pretty big, as seen here, covering like a fourth of the map, creating this triangle zone, which is not visible to other people, only you. And whenever you are in this zone, you can now use your skate ability, which we will now get to. The second move, the skate ability, is completely unusable unless you have a triangle zone set up. So make sure those sprays are hidden, because if even one of them goes down, you can't use your skate ability now, which is pretty important for Veronica. Whenever you do skate, when you approach objects, you will flash pink, and you can press space to do a trick while this happens. Your stamina drains by 10 per second while skating, but hitting tricks does instantly give you 10 stamina with a 1 second cooldown. So theoretically, if you are quick enough, you can just skate for a pretty much infinite amount of time unless the killer hits you or you mess up, which is, it sounds pretty broken. Hitting 0 stamina does stop the skating, and crashing into walls without pressing space in time will give you some negative effects. Crashing disables your skate ability and gives slowness 4 for 3 seconds. But if you are in your skate zone when it ends, then you could just start it up again pretty quickly after those 3 seconds if you have enough stamina. Also, Veronica has the ability to kind of just bump into the killer with a skateboard, kind of disrupting them, similar to a guest charge. And I'm assuming this is related to one of the broadcast modes, but I'm not sure which one. Now, what's a broadcast? Let's get into that. The third move, Broadcast, changes how your skateboard works. You can cycle between 3 modes. You start on Ghost mode, then Shield mode, then Speed mode with basically no cooldown. It's just a mode switch. With Ghost mode, whenever you crash with your skateboard, you are self-inflicted 5 damage. I'm not sure what else this does. With Shield mode, whenever you crash with your skateboard, you are self-inflicted 5 damage. Again, I'm still not sure what this does. However, with Speed mode, it's pretty clear that I'm pretty sure you just go a lot faster with the skateboard and tricks. But you are dealt 15 self-damage whenever you crash, which is way more high risk, high reward compared to the other modes only dealing 5 damage when you crash. So here's my theory. I'm assuming Ghost mode is the standard kind of just medium mode. Skate around, do whatever, medium speed, and you're in self-inflicted 5 damage for crashing. Shield mode is probably the weird one where you can just bump into the killer, but you are likely slowest and you are self-inflicted 5 damage for crashing. Meanwhile, Speed mode has the most speed benefits of the skateboard, but it is a higher risk, higher reward because you will be heavily punished with 15 damage whenever you crash. That isn't confirmed though, that's just my theory on how the modes work for broadcast. So let's get to the last ability, Activate Battery. Activate Battery is related to this battery bar passive in the top right corner, and this ability heals you over time for 1 HP per 2% of battery. So you can heal a minimum of 1 HP all the way up to 50 HP over time. And I'm not sure if it really cancels whenever you're hit, that is unclear. Veronica does seem very overpowered if you let your spray cans stay on the walls, but if you can find those sprays as a killer and destroy them, she likely is an easy target, especially if you have ranged attacks that can just snipe those sprays without having to walk all the way over to a corner just to take them out. It's recommended to go after her as soon as the round starts so that she doesn't have time to prep, similar to targeting Taps and Buildermans, as she's pretty useless then. But anyways, that is all we know about both characters, all is subject to change, but I am super excited to play both of them. Peace out guys, have a good day, hope you learned something you didn't know about the new characters.